In late 2024, Turkish warships appeared off the Horn of Africa, escorting the seismic research vessel Oruk Reis. This was no symbolic gesture. It marked the start of a decade-long Turkish naval mission in Somali waters. The scale of the deployment surprised many, raising questions about Turkey's true intentions. Officially, Ankara cited stability and counter-piracy, but the presence of advanced frigates and a research ship hinted at deeper ambitions: economic, military, and geopolitical. For Somalia, battered by decades of conflict, Turkey's arrival was both a lifeline and a new complication. The Somali government welcomed Turkish support to enforce sovereignty and protect resources, but the move also intensified rivalries with regional powers like the UAE and Egypt. Turkey's warships weren't just patrolling, they were reshaping the balance of power in the Horn of Africa. To understand this bold move, we must look beyond official statements to the deals, rivalries, and grand strategy driving Turkey's new presence. The story of this deployment is the story of a nation projecting power into a new frontier. Turkey's naval presence is anchored in a sweeping 2024 agreement with Somalia, combining military support with major economic incentives. In exchange for securing Somalia's coastline, Turkey gained exclusive rights to explore and develop oil and gas, with a 30% share of any future revenue. For Turkey, heavily reliant on energy imports, this is a game-changing opportunity to secure new resources and reduce vulnerabilities. The Oruk Reis is now leading exploration efforts in Somali waters with the potential to transform Turkey's energy landscape. For Somalia, the deal promises a 70% revenue share, funds that could rebuild infrastructure and fight insurgency. Turkey's warships serve as insurance, protecting both the exploration vessels and the billions at stake. This arrangement forges a powerful partnership. Somalia gains a security guarantor, while Turkey secures a strategic foothold and access to untapped wealth. The naval deployment is about far more than piracy. It's about safeguarding a massive economic gamble. Turkey's ambitions in Somalia are as much about profit as they are about power. The stakes are high, and both nations are betting on a new era of cooperation. Somalia's 300-kilometer coastline wraps around the Horn of Africa, guarding the entrance to the Gulf of Aden and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This choke point is vital, linking the Red Sea and Suez Canal. It's a lifeline for global trade. By establishing a naval presence here, Turkey isn't just protecting investments, it's projecting power over one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. This move is central to Turkey's Blue Homeland doctrine, aiming to expand its maritime influence far beyond its own shores. Control here means leverage over global commerce, intelligence gathering, and a seat at the table of major maritime powers. Any disruption in these waters sends shockwaves through the world economy. By positioning itself as a security provider, Turkey gains diplomatic clout and new alliances. The deployment also challenges rivals like the UAE and Egypt, who have their own interests in the region. Turkey's warships are a clear message. Ankara is here to shape the future of this global crossroads. The Horn of Africa is now a stage for a new era of great power competition. Turkey's rapid deployment in 2024 was triggered by a bold move from Ethiopia. On January 1st, Ethiopia signed a deal with Somaliland for a 50-year lease on a stretch of coastline, threatening Somalia's sovereignty and igniting regional tensions. Somalia condemned the agreement and turned to its allies for support. Turkey responded decisively, finalizing a defense and economic pact with Somalia within weeks. Ankara's backing wasn't just diplomatic, it came with the credible promise of military force. The Turkish Navy's arrival sent a clear message to Ethiopia and its supporters. Somalia's borders would not be redrawn without a fight. This was classic gunboat diplomacy, elevating Turkey as the key power broker in the Horn of Africa. By stepping in, Turkey thwarted Ethiopia's ambitions and cemented its role as Somalia's indispensable security partner. The Ethiopia-Somaliland deal, meant to reshape the region, instead locked in Turkey's long-term presence on the Somali coast. Turkey's mission in Somalia goes far beyond patrolling the seas. At Camp Turksum near Mogadishu, Turkish officers are training thousands of Somali soldiers, building a modern army from the ground up. By 2023, over 5,000 Somali troops had graduated, with plans to double that number. Turkey supplies everything from armored vehicles to Bayraktar TB2 drones, game changers in the fight against al-Shabaab. This deep military partnership creates lasting dependency, tying Somalia's security architecture to Turkish doctrine and equipment. Turkey is also rebuilding Somalia's navy and coast guard, ensuring future forces are trained and equipped in its image. This is more than anti-piracy, it's a nation-building project, intertwining Somalia's future with Turkey's strategic interests. The result? A Somali state whose security is fundamentally linked to Ankara. Turkey's Somali mission is the flagship of a broader African strategy. Over 2 decades, Ankara has expanded its diplomatic, economic, and military reach across the continent, offering an alternative to Western and Chinese influence. Africa provides markets for Turkish goods, access to resources, and a booming market for Turkish defense exports, especially drones. Private security firms like Sadat supplement official deployments, giving Turkey flexibility and plausible deniability. By 2025, Turkey's combined military presence in Africa is set to surpass many former colonial powers. The Somali operation combines all elements of this strategy: military partnership, energy investment, defense exports, and naval power. By anchoring itself in the Horn of Africa, Turkey creates a launchpad for deeper continental influence. This is about more than oil. It's about establishing Turkey as a true Eurasian power with global reach. The warships off Somalia are the vanguard of Ankara's 21st century ambitions. Turkey's naval deployment to Somalia is a masterstroke of strategy, blending economic ambition, military power, and geopolitical vision. The public focus on piracy masks a deeper agenda, securing energy, projecting power, and reshaping regional dynamics. The 2024 agreement gives Turkey a major stake in Somali oil and gas, while the naval base secures a critical maritime choke point. The move was a direct response to regional threats, but it's also part of a broader nation-building effort, training and equipping Somali forces for long-term influence. Ultimately, the warships symbolize Turkey's bid to become a leading power in Africa, challenging old and new rivals alike. It's a bold, risky gamble, but one with the potential for immense rewards. Turkey's presence in Somali waters is about far more than security. It's about power, profit, and a new place in the